Among the many bold Spider-Man experiments Marvel has launched over the years, Superior Spider-Man is usually the first to come up in conversation, a daring era where Otto Octavius hijacked Peter Parker's life in a quest to prove he could be a better hero. Yet tucked in the shadows of that run sits a gem far stranger, sharper, and wildly more comedic: the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Debuting in 2013, this mischievous spin-off didn't follow a noble hero or a tragic anti-villain. Instead, it trailed a crew of C-tier crooks who desperately believed they belonged on the same stage as Marvel's greatest villains. A decade later, it remains one of the funniest and most cleverly self-aware Marvel comics, and still surprisingly overlooked. A loser supervillain crew that accidentally became iconic. Instead of Dr. Octopus or the Green Goblin, this Sinister Six featured 5 criminals. And not scary ones. We're talking about Boomerang, Shocker, Beetle, Janice Lincoln, Speed Demon, and Overdrive. Their crime sprees weren't world-ending schemes. Sometimes they were more concerned with rent, bar tabs, and avoiding awkward meetups with rival goons. Boomerang, Fred Myers, narrates the chaos, spinning half-truths with the confidence of someone who absolutely believes every bad decision is brilliant. In true unreliable narrator fashion, readers never fully know where the lies end and the delusion begins, and that's exactly where the comedy lands. They may plot heists, betray each other constantly, and talk big, but underneath the costumes they're desperate, petty, and painfully human. In other words, they're the most relatable villains Marvel ever printed. Sitcom energy in a supervillain world. Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber created something rare in superhero comics, a villain-centric sitcom bursting with meta-humor, self-awareness, and emotional absurdity. Superior Foes treats its supervillains like the office slackers of the Marvel Universe, scheming for glory between fast food runs and identity crises. Some key comedic highlights include a character trying every stereotypical superhero origin accident. None work. Elaborate double crosses that fall apart instantly. Team members betraying each other only to awkwardly apologize later. Emotional breakdowns over stolen sandwiches and failed scams. Its community meets Harley Quinn with a hint of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, long before comic adaptations leaned hard into meta-comedy. A comic that loved villains without pretending they were heroes. Modern superhero media often redeems villains or reveals tragic backstories. Superior Foes does the opposite. These characters aren't noble deep down. They're selfish, impulsive, and usually wrong. And yet, they're lovable. The magic of this series is how it makes you root for bad guys without sanitizing them. They don't seek redemption. They seek clout, cash, and occasionally revenge over extremely petty slights. Their morality is murky, but their humanity shines through. Why this is the perfect time to rediscover it. We live in a world where anti-heroes run wild. Deadpool, Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, The Boys. Audiences crave the messy, hilarious, meta-driven side of hero culture. Marvel, however, has played safer on that front. That's why the Superior Foes of Spider-Man feels ripe for revival. It offers comic book chaos, a grounded look at supervillain life, sharp wit and emotional absurdity, a rare spotlight on forgotten Spider-Man rogues. With the MCU exploring multiverses and deeper corners of the Spider-Verse, these misfit villains could easily steal the screen and fans' hearts, the same way they stole sandwiches and questionable museum artifacts in print. Final thoughts. For all the multiverses, crossovers, and cinematic webs being spun around Spider-Man, Marvel still hasn't tapped the funniest corner of his world. Superior Foes understood something essential about the Marvel Universe. Not every villain dreams of world domination. Some just want to win, a hot meal, and a bit of respect. 12 years later, this chaotic little comic remains a hidden masterpiece. A story too clever and too silly to ever die in obscurity, even if its characters can't seem to pull off a crime without tripping over themselves.